If you know deep down what you're doing is the right thing to do, then whatever anyone else says doesn't
But at the end of the day, like how we perform day to day is not our identity. That isn't who we are. It is what we do.
Welcome to the Growth Drivers Podcast, the show where we break down the leadership frameworks, mindset shifts, and strategies that fuel entrepreneurial success, personal transformation, and business breakthroughs.
I'm Rachel Novak.
And I'm Mike Novak.
Let's dive in and start driving your growth. All right, welcome back to the Growth Drivers Podcast. Mike and Rachel Novak. Today we are talking about handling criticism and how to turn negative feedback into growth. So I'm going to start by saying you're not always going to be liked, especially if you're leading people or leading anything. There are going to be people, businesses, individuals, employees, past employees, competitors, anybody who may not like you. But if you're building something meaningful, that criticism is literally guaranteed, right? If you are building something with heart behind it, with a mission, there's going to be people who disagree with you. So get over that right now. So now it becomes how you handle that criticism, how you handle negative feedback is going to determine how you grow, how you evolve, how you lead, how you last, how your business does.
Right. And I'm going to tell you this too, like the more decisive you are and the louder you are as a leader, the harsher you're going to be judged, right? When you make hard-ass decisions that are polarizing, that's where you get some of the hate, right? But like as a leader, you have to be compelled into those decisions, right? Like you have to know with conviction that what you're doing is the right thing. You have to be able to handle that heat.
That's exactly right.
But like the bigger the decision, the more the hate you're going to get.
Yeah, 100%. So, this episode, it would be for the woman building a business while raising a family, right? You're going to get shit from people in business. You're going to get shit from people about you being a mom. It's for the man, for the warrior who's leading a team, who may also be the stay-at-home parent. I've had a couple of those in our lives, or on a mission for something, or building a business, or doing a startup. We are all facing challenging interactions all the time. So clients, nitpicking, or clients with big struggles that take it out on us, right, in some way. Teammates or colleagues who talk shit or talk behind your back. Friends, acquaintances who mean well, but they may say things behind your back that cut a little deep, right, or that have not the best intentions, right? Or maybe they, to your face, are nice, which is the worst. To your face are nice and then are not defending your name behind your back. So we all deal with those all the time. And like you said, if you're leading anything meaningful, if you're building anything big, that's going to get exposed. So
you're going to have people that love you,
mm-hmm.
and you're going to have people that hate your guts.
Yep. And that means you're probably doing something successful. Like it probably means you've reached some level of success. So this episode is really about how to use all of that tension, that criticism as fuel to keep going and to keep building, and not fire to burn it all down. Okay, so that's where we're coming from. So first things first, we've got to understand the source. So if you're getting criticism from somebody or negative feedback from somebody, not all this criticism is created equal. So first you have to ask, where is this coming from? What is the source of this criticism? Are they somebody that loves me? Are they somebody that I love? Are they somebody that even knows me? Are they somebody who wants the best for me? Or are they just somebody with zero context of who you are, throwing or hurling some sort of criticisms at you, right? The source matters.
Which is what it is about 98% of the time online, right?
Correct. Or if it's coming from somebody that you do know and knows you, is it possibly coming from a place of insecurity in them?
Mm-hmm.
Are they potentially projecting their insecurities, their failures, their fears onto you? Are they fearful, or they've experienced failure in some way that they now need to project out because they're seeing it? An example would be in 2007, when you and I purchased this little hole-in-the-wall restaurant, and the crash was happening in the economic landscape and the housing market. I had been working with a couple of real estate agents at an office in Bellingham. And one of the agents, I told him, hey, my husband and I, or my boyfriend and I at the time, bought this restaurant. We're going to kind of start pouring some energy into this, and really that's kind of the direction we're trying to go. And his first response was, well, most restaurants fail. So if you need a job in a couple of years, don't come back to me. It was thanks for the support, but it was his own projection, right? His own insecurity, his own fears. He had a dream of owning this little cafe for a really long time, never came to fruition. He'd been working on it for 6 years. So it was really his own insecurities and projections coming at me. And I never took it I took it with a grain of salt, of course, at the time. But know the source. Where is that criticism coming from? And don't take it at face value. Really think about it. Is that somebody that I care about? Is it something that cares about me? Are they bringing up their own insecurities or fears or projections? And is it coming out at me as a criticism? Because that's a really important part of this.
Yeah. As I think about that, you're talking about kind of creating a lens and a filter for with which to look at criticism from, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do I know if what's being thrown my way is something I should spend any time or worry about, or if it's something that I should just ignore?
Exactly.
Right. I think that's kind of what you're getting at.
100%,
right?
Yeah.
And so I think the single most important thing for that is conviction and integrity with oneself. Right. If you know deep down what you're doing is the right thing to do, then whatever anyone else says doesn't matter.
Exactly.
The story is actually just done right there.
Exactly.
Whatever they're saying, it's completely irrelevant, even if they're close to you. I felt judged by my family lots of times for what I do in business. You know what I mean? They don't understand it. They say weird comments sometimes that they could be hurtful if I didn't take them in the context that they have no idea what they're talking about. But it's just that filter that you build, right? So there's less than 3 or 4 people that I care about feedback from at all on anything. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's different for different parts of my life. So for my body domain, there's a couple people I will really listen to the feedback on. I'll listen to Chris, I'll listen to AJ, right? On business, there's 1 or 2 people. That's it, that I will listen to, that I'll actually take that constructive feedback and criticism from. Mark Gelman's a good example.
Mm-hmm.
When Mark says, hey, I'm seeing this, you should do this. I'm like, okay, I should probably look at that,
mm-hmm.
right? Mark's got it going on.
Yeah.
I look at balance. I think a lot about Garrett and what he's doing with his family and his with his being and everything else too. You know what I mean? Pulling that all together and having all 4 domains conquered. So I think a lot of it is having different people that are meaningful and impactful to you in the different domains, and then shutting out the rest of the noise. Because if you take everyone's feedback and you just hear it all equally, you're just going to be in this tailspin of self-doubt, right? You're never actually going to break through in anywhere you're trying to go. And it doesn't really matter if someone else believes that you can do what you're going to do. It just matters that you believe it.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So yeah, it is a filter, right? You have to filter, is this coming from a source that I trust? No. Is this somebody that is mirroring what I want to become? Are they accomplishing something that I also want? Do they have a proven track record of expertise in this particular area that they're giving me criticism?
Right. That right there is maybe the best part of the filter. Have they done what I want to do?
Yeah.
Apply that to the body domain. Have they been a competitive bodybuilder? No. Then you're dead to me. I don't even care what you have to say, right? Have you built a 9-figure business? No. Then I don't care what you have to say. You know what I mean? You haven't been where I want to go. And so I don't care what your opinion is. It's just noise to me. It's irrelevant. It means nothing to me.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So second one, I love. So anytime that you're getting this criticism, so say it comes in and you filtered it. Okay. Now instead of taking it personally, I'm going to take it professionally. So don't take it personally, take it professionally. And what I mean by that, we identify, especially high achievers, high performers, we are going to constantly identify as the work that we do, right? We are so proud of the work that we do. It's our little baby. We've created this little thing, and this little thing is our identity because we've created it. But at the end of the day, how we perform day to day is not our identity. That isn't who we are. It is what we do. Right? And so taking something professionally instead of personally means, how can I actually take this criticism or this feedback and apply it somehow positively, right? Most emotional reactions, which would be responding, taking something personally from some feedback, especially if it's somebody that you don't know, like trust, or is just giving you criticism, taking it personally, that's going to come from ego. That's going to come from a place of defensiveness of saying, well, I'm so proud of my product or my performance that now, like, screw you. And that's coming from ego. It's not necessarily coming from the truth of the matter.
Right. I think about Tim Grover in the book Relentless. Like, if you've read Relentless, this is going to resonate with you. But he talks about the differences between like closers and cleaners, right? And the cleaners, like they just don't give a shit what people have to say, right? Like they know who they are, they know what they're doing, and they just shut out all of the noise. Like that's the part that really resonates to me.
That's absolutely true. So as a leader, as somebody who's creating something, who's building something, who's working to follow their mission and their purpose in life, whatever that is, in your business especially, you have to learn to listen to that feedback without internalizing it and identifying as it, right? So I think that's what a lot of people do is they will get some sort of criticism in their head, especially early on. They'll get some sort of criticism or feedback in their head, and that criticism feedback will play back over and over and over on a loop anytime doubt creeps in. And you have to not internalize that.
What about the people that can flip the script and they can take that criticism and it becomes the fuel to prove that person wrong?
Well, that's exactly it. That's
like tell me I can't do something, and mother, I'm gonna go do it.
And that's
and
the
you
most powerful place.
You just completely gave me the energy and the fuel I needed, because you told me I can't do it.
Well, and that was a big part of the fire that you and I have worked from a lot, right? When we've had a lot of critics, we can't do that. Good luck with that. Like, most people fail, this and this and this. Okay, thank you for the challenge. I'm up for it, right? Like we thrive when we're told that we can't do something, because it's just more motivation for us to go do it.
Guess what's getting me out of the bed every morning at 3 a.m.
Your voice.
Yeah, exactly. You telling me I couldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. So don't take it personally. Take it professionally. How can we apply it? Do not internalize it. The next one is an interesting point that I kind of came up with, which is clean up what's yours. And let me explain this. Criticism and feedback stings the most, and it even will trigger where there's some truth. So in business, for instance, if you're a real estate agent or you're a team leader and you maybe criticize or give feedback to one of your agents about their lack of performance, right, or their lack of action, or you're an agent and somebody in your world has kind of called you on, hey, are you taking this action? Are you doing these things? If you immediately feel defensive and emotional or like guarded because of that feedback, it might be because there's some truth to it. It might be because you also know you aren't putting in the effort, or you're not doing the things that you know you need to be doing, and there is some truth to it. So if it hits a nerve, right, if that criticism hits a nerve in you, if it triggers something that feels like an emotional kind of reaction, ask yourself, is this exposing a blind spot?
I think the way to know that is what this person's saying, like, is it inflaming my emotion immediately? Or is it just kind of like pissing me off? Because if it's inflaming my emotion, they've hit a nerve, right? And there's probably an area of truth I need to examine there.
Yeah, exactly.
But if it's just like general dipshittery and I'm like, you're kind of an idiot and kind of mad now, like, there's a big difference there, right? There is a big difference. You see what I'm saying? Like, but if I'm like triggered, I'm like, that guy, you know what I mean? Like that's where I should probably do a little more self-examination, because something just hit.
That's a good point. So there's kind of two levels of it, right? If it's like an immediate knee-jerk emotional reaction where you're like, nah.
Yeah.
That's probably hitting a nerve. There's probably some truth to that feedback or criticism. Whereas if you're just kind of like, that's a dick thing to say, like, you're a jerk.
Well, I think about like an agent on our team, right? Like the person doesn't make enough phone calls during the week that they committed to, right? And you call them out and you're like, hey, you didn't make the phone calls you were supposed to make. What's going on? You know what I mean? And that's like helpful, constructive feedback. They're going to look at that and be like, okay, I did make that commitment, right? Like, so you're not like attacking the person, you're just calling out the behaviors. You see the difference?
Of course, yeah, absolutely. So if it's yours, if there's a shred of truth to that criticism and it stings a little bit, examine, is this a blind spot I need to address? Okay. Love this one. Detach from critics. Attach to coaches. So you kind of already brought this up a little bit. We kind of already discussed it, but letting random critics, online keyboard warriors or people that you don't even know criticize you or give you feedback that's negative and attack you, and then taking any of that as truth is not going to help you. What is going to help you is attaching to people who have accomplished what you want to accomplish, right? And if I'm getting feedback or any sort of level of any type of criticism from somebody who's actually accomplished what I'm trying to do, I'm going to take that as constructive coaching, right? Because they obviously, nobody who's accomplished more than you in a certain area is going to actually criticize what you're doing. They will provide feedback and possibly accountability if they care about you enough.
And the pro tip here, think twice about hiring a coach or a mentor that hasn't done what you want to do.
100%. That should be a filter in everybody's world before they go pay somebody money. Have you done what I want to do? Have you accomplished what I want to accomplish? Are you living a life that I could see myself emulating? Like, that's absolutely true. So make sure that you're choosing those voices, you're choosing those people in your life. And even if they're not a paid coach, but they're a mentor or they're somebody that you listen to or go to for things, make sure that they sharpen you, right? When you talk to them, make sure that criticism, that feedback sharpens you. It doesn't shame you. Okay, really important. And then, of course, this last one, which you already touched on, is turning feedback into fuel. So I love this quote, great leaders are made in conflict, not comfort. So if you're getting criticism, if you're getting feedback, and there is positive that you can take from it, which sometimes is the positive is using the negative from that feedback in order to drive the action toward whatever, you're trying to accomplish. That is using that conflict to accomplish something, right? It's not living in that comfort.
When I think about like the difference between average and exceptional, that's like one of the biggest differences, I think, is that somebody gets some feedback, and if they're average, it just leads to self-doubt.
Like crumbles
it's in the back of their mind, and it just destroys them, like eats at them. It completely destroys them, like you're saying. And the elite is just rocket fuel. You know what I mean? Like, thank you. That was a huge gift you just gave me, right?
Yes.
That's a huge difference.
And I've seen that many, many times with a lot of people in our life, right? Where you and I will hold the people that we care about a lot to a very high standard, and we will confront them on things that are very uncomfortable. But we do it out of love. And the people who respond in a way of thank you, like, thank you, I needed that wake up call. I needed to hear that from somebody. You're totally right. I was being too comfortable. I wasn't living in my potential, whatever it is. Those are the people that will accomplish something great. The people that go, fuck you, you're mean. Why would you say that? You're so mean. You just want me to. Yeah, those are not our people.
And the core of that is, again, that internal integrity, right? Like, if you know deep down who you are and what you're doing and how you're doing it is within integrity of yourself, you're good. You know what I mean? That's what sets you up to use that for fuel versus crumbling you. Crumbling you means that you're self-doubting if these things are actually true or not.
Yes.
But if you have that integrity, it's not even a question.
That's
right?
Exactly right. Yes, great point. Yep. And then this last quote that I absolutely love, I shared with you before we started recording here, was, you'll never become what you're called to be if you can't take a punch without falling apart. You're gonna take punches. You're gonna lose a few teeth. You're gonna get bloody. There's gonna be like some scars on your knuckles too. Like, business is not for the weak. Accomplishing something great is not for the weak. You've got to take punches. You've got to be okay getting hit 7 times and getting up that 8th time. Like, this is part of it. That's part of the life of accomplishing anything fun or good or successful, or being successful in any area, is being able to take some punches.
I've yet to meet anyone that is successful that hasn't gotten knocked down, and
100%.
most of them multiple times. And the difference between the people that stay down and the people that get up is just that resilience, right? That they're not done. Like, this is not the book of my life. It's a chapter in the book, right?
Yes.
And the next chapter I'm about to write. So watch out.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's exactly what my kind of like last thought was, the criticism is going to come, but it's that resilience, right? Having a resilient heart, having a resilient mind, living in full integrity with the actions that you're taking in your business, the actions that you're taking in your marriage and with your kids' relationships, with your body, with your being. Like, you get to decide what crushes you, what obliterates you, or what crafts you and molds you and evolves you into the next version of yourself.
Yeah, really good. I love it.
Love it. All right, guys. So, quick call to action here. Share this episode with somebody if they find some value in it. If you were inspired at all, if something resonated, share it with somebody who might need encouragement or a hard lesson, if they're in a deep season and need to be opening that next chapter. And then hit us up on Instagram. I'm at Rachel Novak. Michael,
and I'm at the real Mike Novak. It always throws me off because yours is different than mine.
I know.
Because you got in early.
I did, yep. So if you've got any recent criticism that was turned into a win, screenshot this podcast, put it in your stories, and tag us with how you are growing from that criticism. I'd really, really love to hear this. So we'll see you next time.
See you next week.
That's a wrap on today's episode of Growth Drivers.
If you found value in this conversation, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with a fellow entrepreneur.
For more insights, tools, and resources, visit us at thewarrioragent.com.
Keep pushing forward, keep leading with purpose, and we'll see you next time.